Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. I reckon and I hope you can hear me clearly. Hi, I'm Leafy Sanford, Miss Sanford. I am a GCU student since 2022, I believe. I'm studying for my dual bachelor's in special education and early childhood development. Okay, I'm here to present my presentation on IFSPs, IEPs, and the 504 plan. I tried to minimize it to just a sheet, but it was kind of black, and I do talk a lot. Oh, my big head. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Bear with me. This is the first time I'm doing an actual recording and sharing of the presentation. I'm a little nervous. I have twin daughters, and the phone might ring, a kid might flash by, but just want to apologize in advance. You know, it's real life, and sometimes things happen. But anyway, so let's get back on track. Okay, welcome everyone to my presentation on the IFSPs, IEPs, and 504 plans. The legal aspect of it, kind of, but an all-around quick presentation for like parents. Like, this is what I would do if I had a parent. Like, hey, I don't understand this, or I'm like, hey, laws are a lot. I would lie to you if I tell you I know everything about every law for these special education plans. I do not. And in doubt, if I did, I will always go to our legal counsel that we have at the South River School District. I'm a good emailer, always asking like, hey, just to be sure and triple check, I need to know. So I'm one of them people because I always think about legal things. My dad was a Navy vet. My mom, she always like, just make sure it's legal, whatever you do. So, okay, I'm rambling too much. I'm a community advocate, always help out the community if needed, if it's typing a letter or making copies or anything I can help them with, just to be a service. I'm a special education advocate and special education aid for children with disabilities, ASD, behavioral issues also. Girl Scout troop leader volunteer. Now, I haven't been doing as much as I used to, but I do volunteer for the Girl Scouts. My daughters love it, and it's more than just cookies. It's a sisterhood, it's a bond, it's fun, it's learning new things, and keeping the Girl Scout brand of good quality. And you just learn so much when my daughters do, and I do too. Sunday school volunteer teacher too, yes. Now, I'm not saying I'm a scholar in Bible, but whatever I do know or learned over the years or want my daughters to know with our religion, I make it fun. So we do presentations and scavenger hunts and games and things. Okay, really off track. Let's go back. Okay, next presentation. Oh, let me increase it. You know what? Look at the fancy button. Can I do it? Yay. Okay, so it's bigger so we can see now. I hope no one's out of play. Okay, so here we go. Okay, what is the IFSP? It is an individual family service plan. Again, this is the type of presentation I would bring up for any parents or co-workers or anybody that wanted to know more about these laws and plans, because to me, they have so many branches. It's so easy to get confused on which one is which one do I sign up for? Like it's a lot. I hope in the future that they make it a little bit more compact and under one umbrella, because it's a little confusing. Okay, so the IEP. IEPs are individual education program. I see a misspelling, sorry. So it's an individual education program. It's individualized for that student. A 504 plan is equal service for the disabled. So this will follow someone for the rest of their life. This is someone who might be confined to a wheelchair, blind, disabled physically or mentally, or yeah, this is something that's just undeniable. You know that person, student, infant has a for sure disability. Okay, this is a little graph that I worked up. Like again, this is something I would present because it's confusing when you talk about all these acronyms. Okay, so for special education age range, just focusing on the age range for IFSP, you can age out of this plan. That's how I will explain it to the parents or family. From birth to 3 years old. This is the milestone ages, the crawling, the sitting up, the holding the bottle, the blabbering, trying to do speech. Longest the infant or toddler are staying on their milestone goals and you're keeping track. Like I know when I was in a delivery room and maternal area, the classes up until you had a child, well, it felt like I was back in school. They was like, make sure you notate everything. What time the baby went to sleep? What time the baby woke up? What did they drink? How many poops? Was it hard? Was it soft? Did the baby drink? You really have to notate that first 3 years of their lives because it's so many red flags that might need an early intervention program to keep them on track and have a better quality of life. So it's very important to get a notepad and pencil. I probably would give the parents this because you just need it, just in life period. Okay, back on track. Age range. Okay, for IEP, you can age out of an IEP. Also a IFSP, but not a 504 plan. I know the differences there. So for the IEP, 3 years old to 21, I think I think 22 too. I can't say for sure. But here in Michigan, 3 years old to 21. This goes for all the way through elementary, middle, high school, and maybe a vocational center that teaches life skills. So they're still covered. They're still covered for academics because they're behind, academically. So even with their age is increased, they're still different mindset mentally. Okay, so age range for 504 plan, like I said, the entire life. This is a lifetime. This is a disability you cannot deny. It's something you know as soon as you see the child or student or person, they have a lifetime illness or mental illness or disability. So yeah. Okay, needs. So the IFSP, different from IEP and 504 plan, considers the family needs. Say if you had a Muslim family or you had a Christian family or you had families with different beliefs, they take in consideration of that when working with the infant and the toddler. So they consider the family needs. But when the child goes from 3 years old to 21 in that age range, the education system in the United States, as for right now, meets only the student needs, whatever they need academically, not so much physically, or not saying physically, but like when it comes to extensive therapies and things like that, that might be something that the insurance or private insurance might take care of. So for right now, academic only journey that they're but it's a little confusing too, because they do give alternatives to students with disabilities too. But for the most part, you're there just to make sure their academics is okay and they're testing out a certain test and things like that. The main focus is academically when it comes to IEPs. Okay, for 504 plans, same things. You're meeting the student needs only. You're not thinking about the family or their, not saying that you're not honoring their religion or anything like that. So separation of church and state. So you're not touching bases there, but you're keeping it very, very simple. You're there for the academic needs of the student at that time. Advocates. So when it comes to special education and advocates for these plans, you are assigned a family coordinator for IFSP until you age up. Now, when that student ages out, maybe they might not need any services. Maybe it might just been some type of fluke or just delayed learning. But if not, when you switch over to IEP or the student switch over, they they have no coordinator. You have I call it a board or coworkers or a family, educational team family that pitches in. Maybe you have a social worker that rotates and travels because there's a shortage everywhere, especially in the education system. I've been working in the education field for going on 7 years now. Oh my goodness, if it wasn't for teamwork, I do not know how how we have been staying afloat. We have to be a family. We have to look out for one another's students and everything. So no coordinator who's ever at the desk at the time, it seems like. Okay, 504 plan, the same thing, no coordinator. Whoever's assigned to that district at that time and here certain students. So yeah, so it's no one coordinator that personalized and kind of follows you and not at your beck and call, but you know what I mean. Okay, so next evaluation. So evaluations for the IFSP. Sorry. Is reviewed minimal of 2 times annually. Now, since they're so young and their milestones might come up and change and everything, it might be every 6 months or 3 months or 2 months. It depends on the severity of the student or child or toddler. So when it comes to IEP, you're reviewed annually. I have a daughter with a speech delay and she has a speech IEP. She's evaluated annually and it seems like it comes so quick, but we are in contact with her very amazing speech therapist, and it's a wonderful service to have. And early prevention, I cheer, rally for it all the time, even with the Girl Scout moms or the parents in my daughter's academy, not just at work. Yeah, it's amazing how far she has came and how far other students can come. Long as you try to undo or help the student as soon as possible, because think about your traits. Think about your bad habits you do. Maybe you did not know certain things were a bad habit and you find out about it. And it's so hard to unprogram your mind to stop doing it because it's just like second nature. So it's good for children to get help before it becomes too hard of a challenge for them. That's my personal take. Okay, periodically throughout life, the 504 plan is no, like I say, it's whoever you're in contact with, whoever's helping you throughout your disabled journey in life, that would be the person who would say, hey, it's time to evaluate you. It's been a while and we have some new things that's going on in 2023. We want to try some new things. Okay, so overseeing agencies. So this is the legal aspect of it. So governed under the IDEA Part C. That is for the family, the individual family SP, IFSP, and governed under Part B is for the IEP. And also the rehab law of 1973 is governing and enforcing laws for the 504 plan. That's where it gets, to me, a little confusing because, like, say if I had an issue with the student and they were 3 years old and under, and I'm like, who should I reach out to? Even though I know it says governed under the IDEA Part C, I will make it my business to wake up that morning and check and make sure nothing has changed. It's just not like, hey, something has changed. So I'm a fan of reading. I read every day. I need to know what's new because the world evolves so much. So, okay. So college or university, minor, so it doesn't reflect on them. No IEP during college. So when it comes to IEP and the student age is out at 21, say they're able to go to college, but they need some accessibility. Right now with the United States, I know there's no guaranteed services unless you have a private college. Again, I'm sorry to keep coming back to me, but I'm a mom of children with special needs, so it's so easy for me to speak on this. Certain academies in Michigan and across the US are NHAs, National Heritage Academies, that's focused on college prep and college bound. some children aren't academically able to go to college when it comes to math, reading, and social studies and science and things like that, but they might have an amazing gift where they're good carpenters. They're good with just technology aspect, with just fixing things like without even knowing that is, they're amazing when it comes to that. So when it comes to things like that, they have colleges that offer certificate programs and certifications, and they call them badges now. And they also have college programs that will assist people with disabilities, but I'm not sure if it's mental. I believe it's more of this physical disability. So every college is different. Do your research in ahead of time, and everything will be okay. And find an advocate to help. Again, I'm talking to you as I would be talking to a parent. All for the community. Okay, so next, the college or university for the 504 plan. 504 will follow the students throughout college programs. So this is what I like about 504. They seem more advanced when it comes to advanced learning, that they have, they know that the student might be able to go to college, like I said, mentally, but not physically. So certain things would be in place, ramps and dorms, and maybe students that are able to assist for extra credit and things like that. No idea, but I know if I had a student that qualified or does have a 504 plan, to reach out to my local Michigan education department. And I do have their website at the end. And like I said, I'm a typer, so I'm always, hi, remember me? Quick question. Because they're hands-on, they know more than I do about the current laws and policies of certain things. Because like I said, it's a lot of branches. Okay, so last one, and this is just like a snippet of what the policies and laws that's out there. Is so much. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Because I'm not sure when the computer's going to cut me off. Okay, so customized curriculum. Minor really doesn't have it. They're learning how to drink their bottle. You know, they're at the infancy or a toddler. They're learning how to maybe wash their hands, use the bathroom. So they don't really have curriculum like that. So IEP. So students will have modified curriculum. So maybe it might be a larger print so they can see it better, or simpler sentences, or broke down, and like I have dyslexia, I need everything organized, or everything's just different. So yeah, so maybe it's broken down and maybe puzzle pieces or something like that. Okay, so for the 504 plan, modified assignments, yes. Different curriculum, no. So they would be given the same thing that their student next to them have. That's in general ed. But it might just be, like I said, shorter sentences. It might be less questions, but it would be the same. It would be the same. Okay, let's go to the next. Oh, 504 and IEPs. This is the difference between it. Okay, I have my handy iPad here because I can't see that. I hope that's on. So governing law. What governing law is over 504 and IEP? So for the 504, Section 504 Rehab Act 1973 would be enforcing for the 504. And for the IEP, the Individual and Disabilities Education Act amended 2004. So 2004. Yeah, so that is the governing legal aspect of it. That is the people that would enforce these things. So if you had a question or a concern and wanted to make sure you were doing everything correctly within the law, these are the organizations that I would reach out to, that I would get my cup of joe in the morning and research. If you had any questions, like I said, it's a lot of branches and it's a lot to take in. I'm not going to pretend like I know all the laws or I ever will, but I would know how to have access to them to make sure legally we're not infringing on anybody's rights, any of our student rights or our coworkers, and they might not know that they're actually infringing on their rights. So it's just good to have cheat sheets like this and PDFs and posters where you can post things. So if you had a question, you have a quick template to reach out to. I'll just read a few more of these because of timeline. age covered, entire life. Government overseeing agencies, U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights, that's for the 504. And for the IEP, birth through age 21, students must, I'm sorry. U.S. Department of Education Office of Special Education and Rehab Services, and that's for the IEP. That's the overseeing agency that you would reach out to if you had any questions, concerns, and you just want to refresh on the current law. Okay, age covered, 504, like we discussed before, their entire life because of their disability, and the IEP, birth through the age of 21. Okay, written plan for 504 does not require written plan. And for the IEP does require an individualized written plan for that student. And again, it would double back and review that every year. So evaluations for the 504 law does not specify. I'm sorry, I'm so bad. Law does not specify evaluations, procedures simply states periodically evaluation. Really struggle with that. I have my glasses. I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous, even though you guys aren't here. Initial evaluation using standard assessment tools. Students must be evaluated every 3 years. That is for the IEP. Every 3 years for the IEP, make it simple. Juice really helped me for the two. Okay, so what else? Goals for 504, no goals for the program for the 504. Just program monitoring, so no goals, just to make sure they're completing and staying on task, things like that. For the IEP, goals must be written and measurable and reviewed annually. So that's interesting, and that'll be the last of it because it's this list. Okay, so I want to touch on a subject before we switch to the next slide. So goals. So when it comes to IEP, you have to make sure the goals are reachable for that student. You cannot have the goals so high and not unattainable that the student was probably spaz out in the parents. Even the parents, if they come to you with goals that are not obtainable, it's time to sit down and discuss something. Yeah, because you have documentation and you're taking notes and test scores and just what the student has proven what they can do and not do. So it's good to keep goals reachable and not out of reach. And that's my personal hot take. Okay, let's go to the next. I'm sorry, I had a lot of coffee and tea, guys. Okay, so IFSP, early intervention. So these are some snippets that I have found when it comes to Ms. Sanford, I love posters. I love reading. I'm gonna plaster things all over the wall. You're just gonna have an information wall. You know how when you come on, you have the Facebook and the LinkedIn. What's new? I'm just gonna print and you're gonna know what's new. Like you need some information, please run over to the Sanford room because you need to know these things. You need reminders. So I'll go over this real quickly. IFSP, early intervention, provides services to a child with a disability and his or her family. Services that are available to the child, as well as the cost and funding. Follow-ups every 6 months or whenever necessary, goes over child's progress and whether changes needs to be made. This is just a simple, like if I was doing Head Start or preschool, because most of these children are probably in Head Start and preschool at that, if not daycare, I will have this up. I would have this at hand so I can make sure I have milestones. I think I had milestones. Milestones would have been perfect to have, but yeah, this is just a glimpse. And like I said, if I had a parent here, this is how we introduce what all this means, because it's a lot to digest. Okay, next, the IEP tip sheet. This is one of my favorites because it has the information of the laws, it has the links, where to go. I love it. So what does IDEA say? So when you go here and you're able to read over this, it has the section, the legal jargon, and it lets you know that it's enforced in your state, and this is why, and this is what this means. I want to zoom in so bad. You know what? Maybe I could zoom in here so I can read it a little bit more. I'm so sorry for. Okay, guiding questions. Like if I was talking to a parent and I have this, under what concept will the behavior or the skill be expected to occur? What level of independence is expected to complete the skill or demonstrated the behavior? I'm like, I will be transparent with the family and say, hey, this is the guide. This is what we need to at least achieve and document so we can know. I'm new. I don't know if this is a waste of time or not, but we're going to figure it out together. And I really think it depends on each student. But I love tip sheet and I love organizations. I have a good dyslexia, like I said, and things like this helps. The next one says target behavior. What do we want the students to be able to do? Reachable goals. Is the behavior observable and measurable? Like I said, I experienced a student that used to pinch. You love pinches, love pinches. Can we get those pinches down? Absolutely, we can. Do you know how? Fruit snacks, fidget. Do you need alternative? Because that they're channeling energy, and it's going to come out. It's going to come out in a positive way or negative way. To keep it coming out in a positive way without hurting or harm anyone, fidget. You need something to fidget. I know this is down polished, but you need something that energy is coming out. So yeah, I love tip sheets like this. Like I say, I'm trying to make sure I get the full videos and I'm skipping through. Okay, 504 plan, section 504. If your child has a physical or mental disability, I don't know. They may be eligible for a 504 plan. Section 504 of the Rehab Act of 1973 is the civil rights law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of disabilities and guarantee individuals with disabilities equal access to an education. In addition to Section 504 plans, disability rights violations are covered under the Section 504 and are investigated by the Federal Office of Civil Rights. This is very important to me. African American, I know it took a lot with the Ruby Bridges and the push-in and the diverse school system and everything. So when I think of things like this, I'm like, who in 2023 would keep a student from learning or violate their rights? But when I know that this tool is there for us, and this law is there, I will make sure I will let every family know, and hopefully we never have to use this organization or contact them or have any dealings with them. But if we did, I'm so happy they're there. Even for the rest of the laws and the legal aspects of it, it's good to know that it's someone there enforcing it, because you need organization, you need a board, you need a final space to solve things, and especially the right way. Okay, so what's next? Laws and regulations. So I don't know why I can't read it today. I'm so nervous on here. I'm sorry. I hope I get a good grade. The Department of Education. Again, I'm in Michigan. So Department of Education laws, policy, regulations are found online. So services, who I need to reach out to, who do I need to write to or email. It all starts here. This is a bookmark that I have saved on my iPad. I have saved on my desktop, and I'm pretty sure I will be printing this off. and I would go through and highlight certain things that's needed or that I can foresee happening. When you're in different districts, you deal with different cultures and different issues. So it's good to have laws and regulations in your mind. When you're in a Title I school with disadvantaged youth, you might need to have different services available to you. Hopefully, you don't need to reach out to anyone other than your school district, but if so, you know, to have that ready. Different districts that's are not Title I schools that's very well funded and have very professional parents that's there and a lot of we call them big wigs and white collar people. You tend to deal with different denials and things like that. So it's good to know your laws and regulations and policies when you're dealing with all type of people and cultures and depends on your district. I'm not saying this in a mean way. You need to know your district where you are to be prepared, to be on the offense, and defense. You need to be prepared. So it's very good to study these laws before taking an assignment and knowing what you potentially might be up against. Hopefully not, but yeah. Okay, so next. Oh, this is my school district. So I'm a part of South Bedford School District. I've been here for 6 to 7 years. I think going to 7 years in September, probably. Been fast. I came from Beaumont Emergency Room, pediatric. But seeing the children on this side of the emergency room is amazing. Seeing them thrive after surgery and continue with their academic career with help and assistance from staff like me. Yeah, it's rewarding in its own way. So I know the pay is kind of up and down, but I really, really enjoy working with special ed kids and autistic kids and just kids in general. So again, South Bedford School District, if you have any questions or concerns, we have a legal department. I always start here. If I had any concerns or issues, always start here. I don't know who's out on vacation. I don't know who's switched over jobs. I don't know, but this is where I start. And plus, I don't want to put the same person over and over unless they're a veteran. They know a lot of stuff. I love veterans. Veteran knows a lot. And I love to pick veterans' brain because they've seen a lot. But anyway, let's see. Oh, all done. So I was trying to make it as fast as possible how much storage I have. And like I said, I'm nervous and this is a lot. I hope I made this digestible. And this is other than the quirkiness and tired and everything like that, I would try to be more professional, break the ice a little bit, of course, but yeah, this is me. This is how we're present to a parent that knows little to nothing or had questions. I would tell them to give me a day, let me research it. I will create a PDF, connect to Zoom, or even if it was a virtual board in the classroom, we would go over it together. And I will also like to invite the legal staff in to make sure what I'm saying is correct. Like I said, I need triple confirmation that what I'm saying is correct because I don't want to lead any student or parent or family member the wrong way. But yeah, let me stop talking now because I will talk a lot. And here's my presentation. This is Ms. Sanford. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your ear. God bless. Goodbye. Okay, I do it again. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna press this button. Nope.